All right, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing the elements of a great website, public adjuster website, as an aggregate. Out of all the public adjuster websites I've looked at, I'd give them a grade of a D or a D minus. Unfortunately, the good news is there's a lot of improvements that can be made. So I've been reviewing websites for over 20 years now, and they have evolved quite a bit. So I'm going to show you the latest and greatest features that help convert prospects into clients, and some of the things that would help your website if you don't have some of these features. So let's go through some of my top features, and then I'll cite each one of them with a good example. Okay. So just running through these real quick, your website should have, if possible, live chat, a clear phone number, social links, Facebook, of course, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you're on. Not personal social links, but professional. An about page, contact form. It should be mobile friendly, or another word for that is responsively designed. The load time should be great. In fact, I'll show you a speed test that you can do to check your load time. It should have readable fonts, easy to read copy. This is a big deficiency I see with a lot of service-based websites. Should have a video, and I'll show you some good examples. Should have a lot of testimonials and a calendar to schedule an appointment. So let's go through an example of someone that has a lot of these elements, a public adjuster's website that I like, and we'll revisit some of these others features later. Okay, so here's a website that I did a little bit of work on for a public adjuster client of mine. And I'm sure you're going to be watching this video at some point, Joe, but I think you have a good website. So I want to use it as an example of some features that I think are great. First of all, we talk about live chat. Okay, he has a live chat, and when you click it, it's a bot that shows how he can help. Now, it's pretty clear right off the bat that there's a bot. It's not someone you're connecting with. So a lot of times people try to pass off some kind of bot for an actual person, and then it sounds ridiculous if the conversation goes astray. So right here, it clearly says this is a bot, which is fine. People expect that now, and they know that in order to connect to the human, they have to get through the bot first. But there's a clear phone number in the top. Typically, I don't like the alphanumeric phrasing, but he does have it in parentheses afterwards on what it is, 5677. So as long as it's bold, sometimes I see it on the left side and it's almost the same color as the navigation bar. So make sure it's nice and bold and matches the rest of your website. What I don't like about this is the call today is in a different font than the rest of the navigation bar, but I'm not saying this website is perfect. It's just an example of a good website that I think deserves a better grade than a D minus and than the par that I would give the rest of public adjusters. Okay. There are social links. So if I scroll down the bottom, had to get rid of that bot there, but scroll down the bottom, there's social links here. It's also, if you have room without making it too crowded, it's a little too crowded up here, but you could put it in the nav bar, and the nav bar should be sticky like this is. You see how when I scroll, it stays with the user? That always helps. Okay. Another thing I like is an about page. Everybody should have an about page, and it should be, let me just click on it. It should be very clear on who it is and a little bit of a story on why you do what you do. I've already told Joe my thoughts about this, but I don't like stock imagery. I mean, you use it if you don't have images of yourself, but public adjusters it's a personal brand. You should be bringing your brand. People are buying into you. They're not buying into Miss Corporate America lady and guy over here. So if you can at all, use professional photos of yourself and bring your story on why you do what you do on your about page, and always have a reason for them to contact you. Now this site, I can't show you here, but it's actually what's called responsively designed. So if you go to it, it looks good on a phone. Okay, so most of your traffic should be from a mobile device. So you want to always test it on that. I've seen some public adjuster websites, I just can't even make out what they are because they're not responsively designed. They don't update their template. Most templates, WordPress templates, are responsively designed. You just have to make sure they're the latest and greatest ones, because new versions of phones are always coming out. And some templates get old and they don't update to the newest and greatest technology that's out there. The contact form. So you should always have a contact form, a way for somebody to contact you. Okay. In this case, this is the About Us page, but you would click Contact Us and you'll see a contact form. And here's something that you're going to want to fix. And I've told Joe about this, but your name. So no matter what system you use, you're gonna this information is being collected. And when you have your name, somebody will type in their first name, their last name, maybe the both, right? But that makes it inconsistent when you send out emails. So if you're gathering 100 emails from your website and you want to do a blast, and the blast would custom put in their name from this field, you don't want to send an email that says, "Hi, Mike Vulcan," because that sounds very impersonal. So what you want to do is change this to your first name, so you know that your CRM system, your customer relation management system, or your email marketing system is always going to be consistent with when you're sending out emails. Okay. Now load time. So what you want to do, let me pause this video real quick, is you want to go to, there's a lot of tools for this. Google even has their own speed test, but the most popular is tools.pingdom.com. And you want to select the test from whatever your location is closest. So in my case, it'd be San Francisco, and you want to type in your website there, and then test the load time. If you get a C or less, even a B or less, you want to do what they recommend. So let me just show you. So I just put in the website address, and it takes a couple minutes to run. It's pinging various aspects of your website and checking for image loads, video loads, text loads, layout, all that good stuff. So let me just pause this video and I'll resume it once it's done. So you can see here, the website performance grade was a 68. That means there's a lot of images. And look at this, load time is 5.26. Ideally, you want to get this under 2.5 seconds, if not 2 seconds. So there's some work that needs to be done here. And sorry, Joe, I'm not using you to pick on you by any means. I'm using you because I think you have a great website, but there are some improvements that can be made. All right. Honestly, typically companies pay me a couple $100 to do a website review for them, and I write up a document. And sometimes it's as much as 400, depending on the size of the website. But this is what I do, and I'll tell you, like, these are some specific examples. This is a good company to do a page test from, because it'll tell you what your grade is for each issue that they looked at. So if you click this little down arrow, it'll tell you how to fix the issue. So there's an A here, and you don't even have to know what these are. You can give these to a web developer and they'll fix these. Okay, but look at the content side. There's 81% load time for the images. It's way too high. So the images need to be compressed. I won't get into the technical details here, but this just lays it all out for you. Okay. And what I like about Joe's website is the clear and easy readable font. That's another thing that I think is a plus for Joe. You can see here's an example of a terrible, this is from Yale. I mean, Yale School of Art. I mean, look at this. You can't read it. It's very artistic. This is not for conversions. I mean, this gives me a headache just looking at it. So you want to make sure that your website font is standard and available for a wide variety. There's some standard web fonts, and if you pick something that's a little off-putting, then that whatever device is looking at it, the user's perspective, it's translated into whatever their default font is. So you want to make, and that of course increases load time and sometimes doesn't translate correctly. So you want to make sure you use a very standardized font, Calibri or Times New Roman, or I think this is Myriad Pro. But whatever the case, make sure your font is very readable. Don't get too creative with that. Now, if anything, I'm a marketing communication specialist, and I look at websites with the intent of, do I understand what this section is about? And I can see right off the bat, we're here to fight for your claim. We can support you with your damage claim. It's very, very clear in what they do. And the call to action, want to know more. I mean, that kind of stuff is very clear. Leaves no doubt to anybody. And honestly, not to dumb down your prospects or website users, but this goes for anything in the marketing world. I used to do a lot of, I used to work B2C, do a lot of package designs with designers, and the general rule of thumb is if you have to write your copy on your packages for a third grader or less. If a third grader doesn't understand what you're trying to sell or what's inside the package, then it's not good enough. Because when people see packages, they look at it for a couple seconds and then they put it down. Same with your website. I mean, you're going to see that most of your traffic is probably 7 seconds or less. So unless your copy is clear, you're not going to convert them very well. Let's get away from Joe's website here. So we just talked about many of these, but let's go ahead and go over to videos. Videos are tough because a lot of public adjusters don't have the time or desire to make a video, but it's really great to have a video on your website because it's known to increase conversions 80%. These are actual validated studies. And especially for a service-based website where your brand should be very personable, you should have a video on there. So let me show you an example. Now, this person is not a public adjuster. He's an insurance agent, but you can see that he's brought all of his, try to pause this. There's some good and bad aspects of this video, but essentially this is something that you can make through visual effects without having to worry about lighting, a good microphone, or anything like that. There's a lot of templates out there. You can just go to Upwork and find a good videographer. Just contact me. I'll connect you with someone who could make one. But what you want to do is have one that's a minute or less that you can put on your website that explains who you are and how you can help someone. All right, and if you scroll through this is almost all animation. There's a couple pictures of him in here, but ultimately the very cream of the crop video should be you speaking intelligently directly to the camera as if they're the user that has an issue that you can solve, right? But ultimately, in a pinch where you don't have any, good camera, good microphone, good lighting, whatever, you can do something like this, which is a good explainer video, which has a call to action at the end. And this particular insurance agent is about protecting your financial well-being. It's very clear cut, and there's a phone number you can call. Okay. One other thing I want to discuss here, actually two other things, is testimonials. All right, so let's go talk. I'm going to go to a company that does a good job with this. So this is an insurance agency, and if you go to the testimonial section, there are some good and bad to this. First of all, they have a testimonial section. That's the good part, because you don't want to assume that you can close everybody, that people assume that you're great. All right, so you want to have a testimonial section. The bad thing about this is that this could be anything. These K Cook, this could be a made-up person. CT Reed could be a made-up person. People assume the worst for the most part when they read stuff like this. So video testimonials are the best, top of the line, cream of the crop. Have a video testimonial saying your name and how you helped. Second in line would be a testimonial like this that's clear, but it has a picture and not a stock image. Third in line would be a testimonial like this, but would be a standard stock picture. Those are starting to look face. And then fourth in line would be something like this, which is just text. Whether this does something or not, I mean, maybe somebody will see that. I personally know from experience that a lot of companies do these. These are probably 100% made up. Okay, maybe, I don't know. But they do have a fill out your own testimonial here. You can do that if you like, but ultimately video testimonials work the best. Just tell somebody to make a quick selfie testimonial after you're done or while you're working with them on their phone. Just say, hey, I love working with the Bushy agency. They're great because this, and this, they help me, and this is why I recommend them. So something as simple as that. So many people have these now. It's so easy to make videos. Okay. And lastly, let's talk about putting a calendar link on your site. So you can put Calendly, and Calendly is just one. You can do Acuity. It's a scheduling program, whatever. Calendly is free, but it has limitations. I'd recommend upgrading. It's a few dollars a month. But it's one of my best tools that I use. I've talked about it before. Very easy, next to no learning curve. And if you scroll down on this particular insurance agent's form or contact form, there's a schedule a meeting directly. This is all automated. So now you see I can click a 30-minute meeting. I don't see what's on their calendar, but I can see their available day. I click their day. I can see their time. Again, I'm not seeing that they're meeting with Joe Blow at 10:30. So now 10:45 is available. And this automatically goes to the time zone the person is viewing at it. So this person may be on the East Coast. He is. Is Indiana East Coast? I don't know. It's just not the West Coast. So you can see that time that if I click 10:45 is probably going to be 1:45 their time. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and click this and click confirm and then schedule an appointment that way. But this can be embedded right on your website fairly easily. So I highly recommend having this. This just reduces the back and forth, and a lot of people, it makes them feel empowered that they can schedule a meeting directly with you. Okay. So I hope this helps. These are not all of them, but these are some of the major factors. If you can have, what are there, a dozen here? If you can have 10 of these 12, you would have be in the top 1% of PA websites. Okay, good luck.